especially for those of you who really want to be a millionaire and you're not just talking. If you're just talking, then there's a club for that. They look great. They wear all the t-shirts that say that they're a boss and they're doing nothing. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person behind you.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of WorkHARDaholics. Ha! It has been an amazing and strenuous time recently. So there's so much going on in the world, but right here locally, we've had a lot happening, and I mean positive things, people. There are enough negative things happening. We've had some great positive things. So one, I think I've mentioned we participated in a report that was actually shared with the public after a months and months and months of research about the ecosystem here in Richmond, in particular to Black and Brown businesses and ways that they can be assisted, specifically dealing with, even before COVID, the disparities and the gaps that were happening between predominantly white organizations and Black and Brown ones. And so that was really exciting. The report came forth, and now the work continues. Now it's moving into the planning stage. But either way, that was really exciting. It was a big deal. And then, just last week, at this point, that was last weekend, right? We hosted the EmpowHER Conference. You can't just say empower. If you're going to empower, it's going to be like empower. So that was very exciting and wonderful and beautiful and magnificent and glorious. And I am so proud to have been a part. The caliber of people who participated is amazing, doesn't even begin to cover it. So before I even get into all that, I recycled our word for the week because I really am very, 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 very focused on the lasting impact of the inaugural EmpowHER Conference. Right? Because it doesn't mean a thing if you do something and it has no impact. It really doesn't. So I'm really big, like before I take an action, I'm measuring it to see if it's worth I call it my E squared, T squared. That's my personal equation. Energy, effort, time, and thought. So I don't engage, involve, embark upon. I don't do stuff unless it meets my measurement of like what I want to accomplish in life or in my journey. So if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Shirley, I got this $1 million offer," the money is nice, but I have to know, is it worth my energy, my effort, my time, or my thought? So that's how I base, like the beginning of all things, I look at that measurement. And so for some of you, you might just call it your impact, but there's an other side to it. It's like, what's your impact and what did you have to input to get it to happen? And so I measure that out, that input versus impact. And that's how I determine what my next steps will be. So with that in mind, we had the EmpowHER Conference. Woo! It was very empowering, very impactful, and it was worth all of the time, energy, effort, time, and thought that it took to make it happen. And so, as I said, I'm recycling our word for the week, and our word for this week is once again, empower, with an HER. And so the gist of what that means is basically giving someone or yourself the ability, the strength, the capacity, giving someone else the tools, the resources that they need to get it done. When you empower someone, they can operate legally for you. They can operate as your medical advisor or your I want to say you're enlightened, that someone else can operate on your behalf. You have given them the ability to do a task, a service, a product, whatever it might be. You have empowered them. So in this case, we're talking about empower, as in our lovely ladies. Hello, ladies. ¿Cómo estás? How's it going today? This is all about you. The whole point is to give you the tools, the resources, the information, whatever you need to get done whatever you need to do, without judging what that is in this case. All right, so that's we talked about this word before as we were getting ready for the conference. But now that the conference is, I want to say sadly over, but really I'm just going to say now that it's over. Woo, because it was a lot of work. But I am so proud of all that was accomplished with that. So I just want to hit some highlights. At some point in the near future, we'll show you a few clips. Not today. We'll show you a few clips from the event. We'll also have the videos available for sale. I also want to mention that if you were a person who got the live stream, I thought there were a few people who bought it, but I didn't actually see on the call. So we'll be checking in with you all to make sure that you had access to it and that you had an opportunity to see all of the empowering speakers and presentations that happened during the conference. It really was amazing. So I want to start by saying thank you to a few of our sponsors and people who made it happen. Because you can have a vision, you can have a dream, but if you don't have funding, if you don't have support, then a dream is just that. You have to actually, I always talk about quantifiable goals, but you have to have a team. You have to have somebody that you're working with or to help get it accomplished. Like, I'm amazing and, I'm every woman and all of that, but really, stuff like if you're going to do big things, it takes more than one person. Even if it's a team of staff that you hire, it takes more than one to get the job done. But it only needs to start with one to get it happening. So on that note, we want to say a special thank you to Henrico Economic Development. Sincerely appreciate the support of Anthony Romanello, Ebony Atkins, the team at Henrico County Economic Development. I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. So the center itself, we are located in Henrico. Like, we're literally a block away from Richmond. We love you, Richmond. We are literally a block away from the Richmond city line. And Henrico County has been exceptional and showing us support, providing us with information, letting us know about what resources and tools that they had available, things that they could assist us with. They've been great about that. And so they've been tremendously helpful with regards to all the things that they could be of assistance with. So we greatly appreciate all of that. And especially their part in helping us with the conference itself. Also want to say a special thank you to Fulton Bank. And so whenever we're talking about having that banking relationship, this is what we mean. So getting that sponsorship with Fulton was just a matter of a phone call because we've been so actively engaged and involved with one another. And not only were they a sponsor, but they actually provided one of our speakers who was phenomenal. He was the only male present. He wasn't the only male there, but he was the only male presenter that we had. And he was exceptional. Here's the thing about finance, though. For a lot of us, we want to be rich. Like, we think about it. I want money, lots and lots of money. Okay, there are more recent songs you could refer to, but that's the one that always sticks in my mind. Because I want to be rich. That's what that song says. Hey. And so we say we want money. We say we want to be a millionaire. We say we want to be successful. But we don't know how to have the conversations about money. Right? We don't know who to talk to. The PPP loan showed us that a lot of us did not have relationships with our bankers, that we knew nothing about like how money worked in the United States of America. And so he did an amazing job of sharing some really key information. And after all of my research, I learned something. Just want to point that out. I learned a couple things and I asked a couple questions and I wanted to know the answers. And so talked a lot about retirement and saving and investing and what to do with your dollars and just a lot of really great and generational wealth. I mean, a lot of great information. And so, but the thing is that a lot of us, when people start talking to us and we're going, that's our nature. When people start talking about a subject matter that's not our passion. But I would encourage you all, once these become available, if you get no other video, that's one of the ones that I would definitely say to get, because he dropped a lot of information and I think it merits regurgitation. Like, I think you have to hear it, reflect on it, make an action plan, go back and listen to it again. Like, he put a lot of stuff in there. But an amazing, amazing presentation. And then we were honored to also have as our participants, I'm just sharing some. There were some amazing participants all together. Thanking our sponsors still. The food for the reception, oh, it was so good. We had Miss Gurley's Kitchen. So good. I'm feeling fat just talking about it. Yeah, it was really, 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 really good. And I just started a diet on Monday, so I don't want to get all into it. But please feel free to check her out. All of the vendors that we utilized were all women-owned businesses. So please be sure and support. Going through some of our speakers again, of course, we want to give a special thank you to Coco Hayashi. And here's the thing. So as an African-American woman, when we talk about skin, we don't have some of the same issues that our counterparts have. We have this beautiful thing called melanin, and it actually increases like the longevity of our skin with regards to, we always say black don't crack as far as like wrinkling and things. So when we said we were having Coco, I'm being honest, I kind of discredited her. I was just like, who needs, whatever. Oh my God, she was so good. I have been at home practicing. Like, she gave us these exercises for the under eye area. Like, I have to remove my mask where you can see. Right? Like, yeah, I got the under eye stuff there. Right? Like, we still, like, even though I am 51 and my skin doesn't tell you that necessarily, but still, I still have like a few little wrinkles I got from being in Haiti in the hot sun. And then the bags and she gave us exercises, and I've been doing them. So y'all keep watching. Y'all going to see Coco's work in effect, because she showed us a ton of before and after pictures, and I'm like, I support it. And she's so funny and sweet and down to earth, and talk about a great businesswoman. She talked about her business model and how she's switching to AI. Did you hear me? I said it. I meant it. She's switching to artificial intelligence. She has an app. She's got, talk about, so it was more, she talked not only about things you can do to enhance your appearance, and she talked about her testimony of how she even got into it, because she had surgery on her chin and it didn't go so well and they couldn't reverse it. So she switched to something natural, and she started doing face yoga. But amazing presentation. And the thing for me was like, it's always a constant reminder that never think too much of yourself or too little of others. Always know that there's value in every person, and everyone has something to offer. You might not need what they offer now, but you might need it later. But never disrespect anyone, because you never know when you're going to need them or what benefit they might have for you. Just an FYI. So, even though I had initially, I had initially dismissed her. I'm like, we don't really need you, but hey, that's great. She was amazing. Loved her so much. So sweet, so personable. Loved her. We also had the pleasure of having Susan Nolan, who gave a really great conversation about quality of life. And especially now, so many of us, even though we're looking at like Simone Biles, and who was it right before that? The tennis player. I'm sorry, I'm not remember her name. But if you're paying attention, you know her name. And so talking about mental health and where we all are. But in general, we look at other people and say, okay, well, I'm glad they're getting assistance, they're getting help. But part of us would need assistance and help if we were really experiencing quality of life balance. And so, like, I'm a WorkHARDAholic and proud of it. WorkHARDAholics. Like, I love I love the go. I love the get. I like the gain. I don't like to waste time, but I love all those things encompassed together. And so that doesn't stress me out at all. But then you have moments where you're juggling and you're juggling, and then something extra gets thrown in, and we can all get like frazzled. And so she really talked about how to keep yourself from even getting to that point, like really understanding your life, where you are, what you're accomplishing. And she gave this really good platforms and ways that you could assess what you're doing and how you're doing it, what you should be doing and what you should let go of, and how to feel comfortable with letting go. So it was a really good and healthy conversation. And plus, when Susan speaks, she has the calmest voice. Like I can't replicate it, but it's very soothing. And so when she's talking quality of life, I just picture myself in a meadow with the bubbling brook beside me, going, "Yes, I will live a more balanced life. Thank you, Susan." So amazing. Really, really excited. It was just a great conversation. I had an opportunity. I talked about one of my favorite topics. I have many, but one of my favorites is really talking about goal setting, right? Quantifiable goals, how to get done. Because people always come to me as a consultant. People come to me all the time with lofty dreams and aspirations, but no plan. And to get the plan isn't that complicated. It's really not. It's just like writing your business plan. When you write your business plan, I admit it might take you a month or 2 or 3, depending, to get it accomplished. But it's then your driving force for decades. So the little bit of work necessary to make it happen in the beginning has a lifelong effect. So why wouldn't you? It's like retirement planning. Like literally, the average person could be a millionaire with a simple 10-year plan. I'm 50 now, so 60 to be a millionaire. Still plausible. If you think about if you get started earlier, then you can cut those dollar amounts in half and still have that plan together. Just saying. So that was a few of us. And then one of my favorite people on the whole wide world is Rita Ricks. And Rita, oh my God, she gave such an amazing presentation. And so just really helping you to live a life that's in balance, like mind, body, spirit. And for those of you who like to connect with her further, please do so. Speaktoyourspirit.com, I believe, is the website. They have these silences, which is so interesting because a lot of people, I always laugh at people. I'm sorry, I do. Because like I'm an introvert, so I love to observe people. And have you ever noticed that some people can't take it being quiet? Like just that pause made them uncomfortable. Like they're like, what? What's going to happen next? What's happening? They walk in their house. They have to turn on the TV, the radio. If they're in the car, they have to make phone calls. They have to turn on the radio. They have to have background noise. Like that ambient. They have to have something happening. And I always say, why can't you be at peace with your thoughts? Like I will drive along. Like I just so after the conference, I was bone tired. I'm still a little tired, but I feel a little more rejuvenated. So I took a few days, went to the beach, of course. And so I was driving along in the car, and I think I was like almost there before I realized that I had never turned the radio on. And I had pulled out, I was like, road trips for me are actually documented by the music that I listen to. It's like the part of the journey. I have certain artists that I play first, always, as I'm getting onto the highway. I didn't do any of it. And I was really sad because I was like, I'm going to do this old school. I pulled out CDs. I was like, I am ready to go. I was there. I mean, I was literally almost at my destination. And I was like, hey, I never played my CDs. I never turned the radio on. I was just enjoying the peace and quiet of my drive. But for a lot of you all, that's like unacceptable. And so if you're looking for an introduction back to your own inner self, the silences that they hold on Tuesdays that's a great opportunity for you to be able to listen to the silence. Just saying. And so We also had an opportunity to hear from Christiana Hurt, who I'd mentioned before to you all, is on Bloomberg's list of top 10 influencers. I thought her story was really interesting. And it's also someone else that, I really wasn't sure about. Like, I knew she had 50,000 followers. I knew she had really, done the 6 figures plus and taught others how to do it. Knew she was really accomplished. But once again, these people were referred to me, and I had never had a relationship or heard of them or anything else. And I'm really big about like my integrity and my character and like all those things that are tying in together. But here's the thing. I sat down and listened to her presentation, and I was like, this chick here knows some stuff. And so, like, I am actually looking forward to going back in and sitting down. She gave this, it's the simplest piece of it. That's the thing that gets me. These massive money-making changes, the advice she gave was so simple. It was so simple that I had to keep going. Is she really telling us the whole story? And she kept emphasizing, it's just this simple. All it took was to do what she said, 45 minutes a day. For you to be in your own 6 figures, 45 minutes a day doing the piece that she shared. And it was so easy. It's like, are you serious? So I'll let you all know how I progress. I'm going to figure out how I can squeeze in 45 more minutes a day. So I'm going to go back and listen to it because she gave the steps. See why you want to make sure you're at the conference? Amazing. 45 minutes a day to be in 6 figures and soon. So I already got my idea from what she said. So I'm just telling you. Amazing, 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 amazing. And then we had the Femme Filmmakers Festival. I say the mini Femme Filmmakers Festival because it wasn't an all-day event. It was several hours. But talk about, wow. These women are so giving, so kind, they've been through so much, and they're so willing to tell you all about it and to give you the advice, the information, the insight to help you move forward. And so, and the other piece that I was amused by is because I didn't realize in particular the person that I knew the least of the three was Mel Jones. So we had Daphne Maxwell Reid, which by itself, oh my God, the fact that we had Daphne Maxwell Reid, period. I mean, I just feel like that qualifies us to do whatever we want to in the world. We had Daphne Maxwell Reid. That's just crazy to me. And whenever I see her and she says, "Hi, Shirley," I'm trying to tell you, it really does kind of look, it's so surreal. It always feels like, hi. She's amazing. And what I love the most about her is that she has the most generous, authentic spirit that I've encountered in a person. Like, she's lovely. And then I learned all kinds of stuff because Ty did her introduction, and I learned all kinds of stuff I didn't know. I didn't know that she had once been a beauty queen. Like, I didn't know. And there was a lot of other stuff that I learned about her during her introduction. So generous. And the ladies, so when they came in, so once again, that was Daphne Maxwell Reid, Tamika Lamison, and Mel Jones. I mean, oh my goodness. And when they came together, it was such an amazing synergy. Like, before we even got started, so they came in, they had to get mic'd. Speaking of getting mic'd, I will share this. We want to give a special thank you to the AHA Rap and Reba Hollingsworth. And so, as I was saying, they all came in to get mic'd for the event because all speakers had to have either a lavalier or a headset piece. And for those of you who don't know, I wish I could show you, but for those of you who don't know, whenever you have a lavalier or the head mic you always see people with, it's attached to a pack. The pack is about the size of a deck of cards. It's a little thick, and it's got a little belt clip on it. Now, if you're a dude, that means that all you do is take it and you snap it into your pants. Like, guys don't have any drama with it. They just clip it on, and it's been this way ever since they were ever created. So every time you see a news anchor, you see a speaker, generally if you see a lavalier or the headset piece, they have, and you see, sometimes you'll see the little wire. It's most times you'll see the wire. It's normally going on their backside. It's clipped into their pants. Okay, ladies, it's not so friendly for you. That means either you have to wear a skirt or you have to wear pants. And then oftentimes, so like guys get to cover it up. If really, go watch the news. Guys get to cover it up because they'll have on their jackets, right? So they can wear it and they can stand up and you don't notice the big bulk. Well, ladies, most of you like to wear your cute little dresses and show off everything, and you want to look cute. And so you don't have a place, one, you don't have a place to clip your pack. And then two, even if you decide to do some underbody stuff and clip it on, it looks like a big bulge. Think about when you see a guy walk down the street and you see his wallet imprint in his back pocket, which I really don't like, gentlemen, in case you've ever wondered. I find that extremely unattractive. That's what it looks like. And so for a female, it looks like you have like an extra hump. It's just not cute. Unless you keep the whole time and make sure you face forward. So especially if you're the weather person, nope, no turning around. Stay forward. And so she created the AHA wrap. AHA. Mine doesn't say anything. You can get them personalized if you so desire. All right. And so what happens with the wrap is that you basically, you take it and you put it around your leg. All right. And I laughed because I had seen the commercials and I've seen it on people. And like, I know several speakers who have them, and I know they all use them at the at the TV station. And so I know people who had it, but I didn't have one until the conference. And this little sucker was amazing. So one, I was concerned because we're all blessed in different ways, and I am blessed with very thick thighs. I know you never thought that'd be something I would discuss with you all, but it's true. And so I didn't think that it would fit my legs. It fit just fine. I had no problem whatsoever. And so I was very pleased about that the sizing was good. So it goes from small to large. I got a large, and I still was comfortable. And then I had it on all day. So as one of the facilitators of the entire event, I was speaking on and off in between all kinds of things. So I put it on. I had on a dress, which, I don't always wear, but I had on a dress, and I had this on, and nobody could even see it. Like, you couldn't see it on my thigh. And the thing is that it's some kind of, I think, neoprene. But what got me is that I didn't sweat. Like, there was no, like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff next to you, like that close all day. There was no perspiration involved. So kudos to Reba Hollingsworth, the AHA wrap. They were part of the reason why the AHA wrap came to my attention is that Reba and I were both up for an award from an organization at the same time. And so that was when, and she was up for the award for her AHA wrap. We were up for the Women's Business Center. And so that was how it initially came to my mind, or came to my awareness. So amazing, amazing product. So for those of you who are aspiring speakers, etc. And here's the thing. So I said that normally it's like if you're wearing a dress or you're not wearing pants or a skirt. One of our speakers had on a romper. And so I wasn't sure that she would need it. She had on a halter top romper. And so yeah, but there was no place to put it. There was no place to put her pack. So in the end, she actually went and put on her AHA wrap and slipped it all in, and nobody noticed or knew. So I was like, hey, I never thought about it for a romper. But it was I was very pleased. And so, like, I love to support people and all that good stuff. But if your products are like, okay, I don't know the nice way of putting this. If your products are crap, then I can't support. I can't say, oh, that's great. So I am happy to say the AHA wrap was like, oh, I get it. It was great. It was wonderful. It was amazing. And if you're a speaker, like I, as a speaker, have my own pack. So most speakers if you're a podcaster, you're whatever. I have my own pack. So when I go out to speak, I'm taking it with me. So I'll be taking my AHA wrap with me on my next speaking engagement. If you see me in person, I do not intend to show it to you, but you can know that it's there. Just saying. Okay, so the conference itself, once again, was amazing. Special thanks to the Bird Theater. They were so helpful, so wonderful. Got to meet the executive director, some members from their board. Like, some of them came out to the reception. It was just really, really nice. So thank you all for your support. Keep in mind, we're starting to plan now for next year. So hopefully by the end of September, I can have dates for you for the next one. And I'm going to tell you now, you do not want to wait to register. So this one was our first one, but like the day before the event, our wonderful governor's office, actually the Women's Council, forgive me for not having the name correct. I will have it correct soon and very soon. They actually shared it on their blast, and they have like 5,000 women in their distribution list. And they've already shared that they want to know more about next year. And so we'll bring them in a lot earlier. I'm just saying, I don't know of any physical location that we'll have that will accommodate a third of that. So I highly recommend that the moment we share the information, that you go ahead and save the date, get that information in, because even now I'm going, how do we top this year? We will. Rest assured, we will somehow. But it was amazing. It was amazing. And like the wisdom and the camaraderie and the conversation, especially with our ladies from Hollywood. So Daphne, Tamika, and Mel are, they're all Hollywood people. Like Tamika and Mel both live in LA. I know they're both in California, but they're both in LA. But they're producing and filmmaking and doing all kinds of great things. And I talked before about Tamika's Make a Film Foundation and Mel being a part of We Are Invisible. And of course, Daphne Maxwell Reed. But it was amazing, the conversation. And what was funny to me, what was amusing to me is that when I realized how many of Mel's films are some of my favorites, I'm like, oh my God. She was talking about it. I'm like, I know that. I saw that. I love that. And even the movie she showed, I was like, I've seen that. I love that. I know it. So it was amazing. It was. I need a new word. I'm going to have to search, the thesaurus or something and find a new word for amazing. I use it a lot, but it's so true. When it's true, it's true. It's true. Okay, so on that note, we're going to get ready. Still getting ready. Okay, we're going to get ready to share a word from our sponsors. But once again, for those of you who attended the conference, I know you got a lot out of it. I have no doubt about it. Tell your friends, let them know that next year it's getting bigger and better, even if we don't know how yet. But it's coming. So very exciting times. And I'm already looking forward to next year, although I still need a nap from this year. Just saying.
Let Socialita help your business stand out from the crowd by building your brand success through social media management. We're located at 1510 Willalon Drive, Suite 100. Our website is www.socialitarva.com. You can also give us a call at 804-484-2001. Again, Socialita.
Imagine Media Lab, in partnership with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing. Record that podcast you've always wanted to start. Voiceovers and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.
And welcome back. You all don't get to hear like all the impact and effects and things that happen in the studio. I'm sorry that you don't. But you get the information. That's what matters. So welcome back once again. This is WorkHARDAholics. And so, oh yay. Hello, Clubhouse. All right, so we're hanging out here. We just finished talking about the amazing EmpowHER Conference. Our word for this week was EmpowHER. We got to say a couple of thank yous to all the people who were a part of the EmpowHER Conference, which was just last weekend and amazing, except for that rainy day on Saturday, where it rained and rained and rained and rained. And there are also some breakout sessions that are coming out, so we'll tell you more about those in a little bit. And thank you again to all of our speakers, our sponsors, and to each of you who made it such an amazing event. Like the quality of the content, I don't just say that lightly. It really was stellar. So looking forward to 2022. Alrighty then. So on that note, normally I start the show. I mean, we're halfway done with the show, and I'm just getting to this point. But normally I always start off with our word for the week, which we did. And then we always talk about our book it moment. All right. So our book for this week is In the Loop and Up to Speed by Carolyn Taggart. And so here is the thing. I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with someone who is a subject matter expert about their area of expertise. Like I was talking about the lovely gentleman who talked about finance. He used a lot of terms that were industry known, but might not be known by the, average person. I know you say you're not average, but you might not be like up to speed and, geek speak or financial language, whatever the case may be. So a lot of times I recognize that we have to be aware of how we express ourselves. That's why we have the word for the week, to make sure that we're all on the same page. But also because of the fact that as a consultant, I don't work in a specific industry. Like I don't just consult with IT people. I don't just work with authors, although I seem to have a lot of authors these days. I don't just work with mental health. I work across most areas. There are a few industries that I prefer not to work in because either there's too much regulation or it's always changing. Some of you are really hard to help you in your industries. It just is. But for the most part, I deal with a lot of people in a lot of industries, and every time I go to work with someone and I try to get them to answer a simple question of like, what do you do? And I have to listen to a 10-minute speech because they're trying to explain it to me. And I always say, don't use acronyms, don't use shortcut words. And it's amazing. Even like teachers have an entire vocabulary of things that, like IEP, like what? Right? If you're not in that industry or you're not dealing with helping individuals in their progress, that means nothing to you. So that leads us to this lovely Libra right here. And so the point of this book is with regards to business terms, because I too love, as I say, alphabet soup. I'm always talking about the SSC and the LLC and the ROI, and I have to go, I know you don't know what that means. So I will say the shortcut and then I will explain immediately what it is that I'm discussing. And it's not a matter of someone not being intelligent enough. Please don't talk to people like they're not intelligent enough just because they don't speak the same language as you. And that could be if they're not speaking English as well. Just FYI. And so it made me very aware of like, oh, people use the word like a word that people love and have loved for a few years. I really do hate the word. Is synergy. Yes, I hate the word synergy. Oh, sorry. Christina said that's the name of her last book. She doesn't mean it the same way, people. So actually, let me clarify. In terms of business, I hate the word synergy. Is that better? Yeah, because that's really what I mean. Because people are using it as a shortcut to not have to explain what they really mean, which bothers me. All right, so this book does an amazing job of like making sure that people understand, like, what on earth are you talking about, right? So I, of course, jumped to the section that is dealing with abbreviations and acronyms. There are lots of other words that we have to talk about, and I'm always talking about a concept. Like for me, LIFO and FIFO are two of my favorite things to talk about. It's not a dog, but doesn't it sound like a pet? I'm always like, LIFO and FIFO. And it's just a short way of saying last in, first out, first in, first out. It's just a concept. It's normally for people who have products. And so you bought the face mask, and when you got them on, at a certain rate. So do you have to sell? Let me give a better example. You bought milk. You are a store. You purchase milk from Marva Maid or whoever makes milk these days. I don't actually drink regular milk, so I wouldn't know. So you bought your milk. It all has dates. All right, it expires. You don't want to make people sick. So they like to make sure they're putting first in, first out. So the ones they got first are the oldest, and they want to sell them first. So if you're like I am, when I go into the store, if you notice, they put them all in date order by the most recent date, and then they get older as they go backwards. And so because I know there are certain things that I very rarely use, I often reach to the back and get the newer ones that have a much further expiration date. So that's really all LIFO, FIFO is. Is it a matter of saying, is it better for you to sell the ones you just got? Because sometimes it's a pricing thing. Or is it better for you to sell the ones you had from before? Because if it's like milk, it expires and then you've wasted your money in making that purchase. Just an example. And I do it all the time. Like I'll be talking to a client. I'm like, okay, well, that seems like a LIFO issue. Which way do you handle? And like, they look at me like, what? And I have to say, last in, first out. And so that's just a product management thing. And it sounds so like, oh my God, because yes, we did learn that in our master's program. So I didn't hear that before. So it's not something I expect everyone to know, but it's something that in business terms, it's a normal conversation, right? So they talk about B2B, and I always assume that everyone always knows what B2B is. Yes, Christina knows, right? It's business to business, B2B, B2C. And so it's just a matter of knowing. So like when I'm talking with a client and I'm like, okay, well, what kind of business are you? The question is, who's your real client? Right? So if I'm a business and my client is really other businesses, then I do B2B, which requires a different type of marketing, a different type of setup in my conversation and my communication. It means that I should probably live on LinkedIn. I probably shouldn't be as concerned about Facebook. All right. It changes everything, right? It changes how I handle my business, how I market, how I share. If I'm B2B, which I'm a business trying to work with other businesses, or am I B2C? Am I business to customer, business to client, business to community, however you want to use the C. It's all the same. So if I'm trying to reach, somebody in a neighborhood or blah, 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 then they are a consumer, a client, a customer, a community, and I have to market to them differently. I have to speak to them differently. I have to treat them differently. I have to establish a different type of relationship. So all of that. So sometimes it's easier to use the abbreviation or the shortcut, because who wants to explain the whole paragraph I just said to you when I can just say, are you B2B or B2C? And then when you look at me blankly, I said, okay, who's your client? Who's your target market? And that will answer that for me. This one is BOGO. BOGO, anyone? BOGO? Right. But the real term is BOGOF. But most of us know it now because of that shoe commercial. Whose shoes were those? Was it Payless? You're right. I think Payless is the one who made BOGO popular. And so they had a whole advertisement and special about BOGOs, buy one, get one. And so, but it's the real term is buy one, get one free. So it's really BOGOF. The problem happened because a lot of our marketers got cheap. And so the buy one, get one free offer dropped off of the face of the earth. And now it's buy one, get one half off. Buy one, get one. McDonald's has a special right now. I think it's McDonald's. Buy one, get one for $1. Like they're using the BOGO because the shoe company, I think it's Payless, made BOGO. They coined the term. They coined the pronunciation of BOGO. Before it was just BOGO. BOGO, not BINGO. And so DRP. DRP. D as in dog, R as in rover, P as in pain, because that's what DRP is all about. DRP is something that everyone should know and should have in place, but most people don't, and they wait for a tragedy. They wait for an incident. Like right now, my ceiling tile, the ceiling tile in my office, and they're coming by to fix it, but the ceiling tile in my office, when it rains hard, the water is coming in and it's seeping. And on one other occasion, it actually broke and water came in and like all over my heater in my office, like the old school ones you have in the window. And so I know this, but if I didn't know it, if I did know that, then I could have had, because initially when we first moved in 3 years ago, okay, we're at our 3-year anniversary right now, people. 3-year anniversary for the Women's Business Center. Side note, but oh my God, that's so important. When we first moved in, I had initially wanted to use that window as an extension of my desk, and I wanted to have like a computer over there and some other stuff. I never got to putting my computer over there. I have 2 windows, mind you. I have a corner office. I'm so important. And so I never got around to putting the computer over there, thank God, because my ceiling tile broke in at that time and drenched water over everything. So I lost a bunch of papers, but nothing electronic that would make me want to hurt someone. So the question becomes, what do you do in case of a disaster? Everyone should have a disaster recovery protocol. Everyone should have a DRP. All right? That's what a DRP is. Your insurance agent knows it. You as a business should know what your DRP is. Yes, most people they don't know the term. Not only that, but most people have never thought about like what they're going to do. After Hurricane Katrina, a lot more people thought about their DRPs. And so did your insurance companies, and they like to know what you have in place. So that's what it stands for. So when your insurance agent says to you, what's your DRP? Now you can tell them, oh, this is how we back up our information. So like for me, there are 2 things that I do, and I'd love to share with you all with regards to our DRP. 1, I can remote access my computer from anywhere. All right. So that's one. There are so many apps and softwares that you can install. There are some that are free. Free makes me question it because it's a security issue. So I don't really care for that. But if you've ever had a technician log into your computer, they're using one of those softwares. So that means if your computer is still up and running, so let's just say there was, so like right now, I'm very sad to report there was an earthquake in Haiti a few days ago. And I've been praying and thinking about my people. I've checked in. I've talked to most of them that I know directly. And so, it's not a happy day, but they are surviving as they always do. Even in the wake of the assassination that just happened, now there's an earthquake, and a 7.2 or 7.9, a really strong earthquake. People are still being excavated even now, even today. It's only been a few days. Okay. So with that in mind, knowing that I think it's Paris has the act with regards to climate control, recognizing that we've been given notice that we are in a red situation with regards to climate control, and it's an urgent situation. It doesn't take that much to realize that even in Virginia, that is not on a fault line, has had 2 earthquakes in the past I guess it's been 20 years now. And there've probably been more, but there are two that have impacted us in Richmond anyway. Right? So keeping all that in mind, knowing how you're going to manage. We had flash floods just the other day. That's just here in simple little old Virginia. So many things that are happening with the weather, so many things that are happening, even the pandemic. So if the pandemic had been, oh my God, there are spores in the air, stay where you are, you cannot leave, how would you be able to run your business? How would you be able to survive? It doesn't take anything all that far-fetched. Between all the natural disasters, everything else that's happening, what's your DRP? How does your business run? Because even when you can't get, you still need. What's your system of recovery? So one of the things I love are, I love a good UPS, and that is not the United Parcel System or the United States Postal Service. A UPS is a backup for your computer. So what it will do is you connect the UPS to your main server, your main computer, and it will allow it'll basically operate like a generator and allow your system to run, depending on the power and potency of your UPS, for 30 minutes, an hour, even longer, to give you an opportunity to save any information. Because it's like if you're in the midst of something and you're creating and it's something happens and you lose it, it makes you want to lose it. So this gives you an opportunity to back up your files and information. So like I said, remote access, choose a software, set it up as soon as possible so that, like right now, I'm fully planning when life decides to calm back down again, my passport and I are traveling. And someone can call me and be like, Shirley, I need the blah, 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 blah. And I can be like, fine, hold on a minute. And I can log into my computer here and email it, send it, share it, do whatever with it from wherever I am, as long as I have internet access. Can you do that? Probably not. But you could. So get that set up. My other thing that is the most important to me, and I don't have it here with me, it's in my office. I always have an external hard drive, right? We support it. I always have an external hard drive, and I have two. Okay, so I have a baby one. I say baby, but it's 2 terabytes, so it's not. It's bigger than your baby, size-wise. On that 2 terabytes, I can back up my computer my whole computer, every system, every application, I can back it up on there. I counted once, but I forget now. Several times over, and I do. So I make my backups of my entire computer, and then I'll add a next backup. So I keep 2 backups, 2 iterations of backups on my little external hard drive at all times. And then I still save a bunch of other stuff, like all of my videos, all of these things, they go there. And then my most recent purchase, I have an 8 terabyte external hard drive. It's amazing. 8. It's lovely. I love it so. But the thing is, if something happens in case of an emergency, they're like, what do you grab? I like to grab my laptop, but if it's a real emergency, I'll just grab the external hard drive. Although my laptop is the price of a small car. Yeah, it's a beautiful MacBook Pro. Love her. So for me, grabbing stuff, it's normally like what's really sentimental, and then like my tech stuff. But what's your DRP? What's your plan? That's the question. So all of that, and we talk about SWOT analysis. Have you all heard that term, SWOT? It makes you want to hit at a fly. It's not. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Right? Okay, so all of that to say, when we're talking about our communication and understanding one another, the reason that I did love this book is simply because for a society that gives shortcuts and abbreviations and everything we can possibly do to communicate, and they're helpful to continue the conversation without having to talk for an hour to explain a simple concept. That is why this book is extremely helpful. Now, if every industry could make one, we'd be in great shape. All right, believe it or not, we are really almost at an hour. Do you believe it? It seems like, has it been an hour? My clock says, yeah. So on that note, before we sign off, a couple of different things. For our work hard, play harder moment. For those of you who have not heard, someone who I love greatly is missing. His name is Marcus Thompson. His family hasn't seen him since November. They haven't spoken with him since January. And at this point, his mother, who is an amazing woman, an absolutely amazing sweetheart of a woman, they just want information. So it does not, we hope and pray that nothing nefarious has occurred. But either way, if you have any information whatsoever, please feel free to look at the image on the screen. Please call the number, share any updates. I believe he was last seen in the DC, Maryland area. But an amazing, articulate, educated African-American male who has always had a very solid head on his shoulders. And someone who I really love and appreciate. So I really love and appreciate each of you if you will take an opportunity to take a look at his picture, look at his information, and share it. All right? So when we talk about work hard, play harder. So we work to play. And part of that play is we play to live. And that means it's about our engagement, our connection with our communities, with our families. Like, my aspirations to be a billionaire, and I did say with a B. My aspirations to be a billionaire are not just so I can have money to spend, but that I can freely have opportunity to fellowship and commune with those who mean something to me. Or to be able to be in those places where I am most at peace, which means that 80% of my time would be at the beach if given that option. I want to be able to do more for my people in Haiti, like right now, who are in desperate need of assistance. So please feel free to be of assistance in that area as well. But part of the reason why we even places in the work hard, play harder is because it's everything that we do is all tied in to give us lives that are fulfilling and whole. And a big part of that is family. So in this point in time, for those of you who say prayers, please say them for this family as they are enduring and really suffering with the question marks, if nothing else. If you have information, please share. It is greatly appreciated. And for those of you who are also experiencing loss or difficulty, then know that we're here for you as well. We support you. We think about you. And together, we work together to make our societies and communities a better place. We want you all to be empowered. Not just during the conference, but in every aspect of your life and with every day. So on that note, as we always say, we want you to live better, do better, and be better. Have a good one, people. Happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta.